rates go up.
Now, would that have happened no matter who was guiding the Federal Reserve at that time? Because some people do say, beyond these geopolitical developments that were putting pressure downward on interest rates, you particularly really pushed those rates even lower.
No, the rates that we at the Fed pushed lower were short-term rates. But what creates housing prices are maturities from 4 years out to maybe 15. And they were very significantly governed by this major change in geopolitical events. And central banks gradually began to lose the power of affecting longer-term rates, as we demonstrated rather conclusively in 2004 when we raised short-term rates very rapidly and ended up with no increase whatsoever in long-term rates. And indeed, it stayed that way into 2005 as we continued to tighten. What that demonstrated, which has been true pretty much around the world, is that central banks no longer have the capacity to significantly impact on longer-term rates, and it's the longer-term rates which create bubbles.
So then, why do we need a central bank?
Well, the question is a very interesting one. We have at this particular stage a fiat money, which is essentially money printed by a government, and it's usually the central bank which is authorized to do so. Some mechanism has got to be in place that restricts the amount of money which is produced, either a gold standard or currency board or something of that nature, because unless you do that, all of history suggests that inflation will take hold with very deleterious effects on economic activity.
Now, you were a great admirer, in fact, an accolade of Ayn Rand, the great philosopher who believed that in the absolute most limited role that the government could play in people's lives. She probably wouldn't have been a fan of the Federal Reserve Board, would she?
Well, I don't know, because we never discussed that in particular. But I think she recognized that there are lots of institutions which we would be better without, but nonetheless probably require them if indeed society as a whole decides to do that. Remember, we live in a democratic society, and that compromise is the very essence of a democratic society, because if we're all individuals with different ideas and we want to live together, we have to do that. And there are numbers of us, myself included, who strongly believe that we did very well in the 1870 to 1914 period with an international gold standard.
Yeah, we did well without the Federal Reserve. People